It's time to be inspired. You are tuned in to the Coach V Show, where iron sharpens iron. Now here's your host, Viliami Tuivai, Coach V.
Welcome to the Coach V Show. It is Mana Motivation Monday, September 23rd, 2019. The Coach V Show is your radio show for personal and professional development with expert insights and interviews to help you, me, and we become the best we can be. Where iron sharpens iron, together we rise on Island Block Radio, the pulse of the Pacific, where paradise lives. I am your host, Coach V. Viliami Tafoktao Tapea Lava Tuivai. And the Coach V Show focuses on bringing you powerful and transformational content, knowledge, and proven tactics to help you, me, and we improve on our self-confidence, develop our potential and talent, increase our value in business opportunities, and the realization of our dreams and aspirations. Thank you so much for tuning in. Tonight, I'm talking to Coach V, 10 life approaches to conflict resolution. Let me say that one more time. Tonight on the Coach V Show on Island Block Radio, I'm going to be talking about the Coach V 10 life approaches to conflict resolution. Conflict, defined as a serious disagreement or argument, typically a protracted one, a prolonged armed struggle, a condition in which a person experiences a clash of opposing wishes or needs, an incompatibility between two or more opinions, principles, or interests. Now here's the verb of conflict. Incompatible or at variance, a clash. Having or showing confused and mutual inconsistent feelings. Now, resolution, as we're talking about Coach V, 10 life approaches to conflict resolution, as we looked at just conflict, here is resolution and its definition as a noun, affirm to do or not to do something. As a formal expression of opinion or intention agreed on by a legislative body. So that is what resolutions are in our democracy, in political systems, a committee or other formal meetings, typically after taking a vote. Another definition of resolution is the quality of being determined or resolute. And the third is the action of solving a problem, dispute, or a contentious matter. Conflict resolution as an idea is the concept of the methods and processes involved in facilitating the peaceful ending of conflict. Here are some Coach V core life approaches to conflict resolutions. These life approaches start with these questions. Question, as we talk about conflict resolution, let's first and foremost look at self-conflict. Will you, me, and we give up what we really want for what will satisfy our current compulsion? Question. As we talk about conflict resolution, there is an ever-going conflict between us and ourselves. So therefore is the question in our self-conflict, will you, me, and we give up what we really want for what will satisfy our current compulsion? Here's another question in terms of these Coach V life approaches to conflict resolution and self-conflict one. And here's another question. Conflict between you, me, and we and another. Is it more important to be right versus what's best for the two of you, the relationship, circumstance, or what's right? Here's a statement in conflict resolution from your boy, Coach V. It's not about me mentality. That is a statement. And this statement of it's not about me, that is how champions approach conflict in life, leadership, and business. In life, it's about being our best. relationships, and living our best life. That's what life is all about, in my mind. And in business, it's about process, execution, and the bottom line. In leadership, it's about developing processes and people to be their best with the best results possible. Conflicts are more manageable when we all keep that in the forefront of our minds. Okay, so that this is how champions approach conflict in life, leadership, and business. This is what we should keep in the forefront in our minds is, in life, it's about being our best, in relationships, and living our best life. In business, it's about process, execution, and the bottom line. In leadership, this is what should be in the forefront of our mind. It's about developing processes and people to be their best with the best results possible. To set also a premise to our show this evening, I would like to add this to the heart and mind and soul of you, our listener on Island Block Radio, for your consideration. That our human nature is one of taking things for granted. That they, it, or what we want will be available upon demand if it is part of our lives currently, or we can access it currently. In my case, during my college years, I did not fully realize the value of every opportunity, a situation, or certain people until it or they were no longer with me. Because of the fact that the lifetime of the situation / opportunity had passed, or when I was literally hundreds or thousands of miles away all by myself, is when I realized the true value of the people and the things that was once mine, easily accessible or within reach proximity of myself, that were now miles away and also in my past. So what is that? In terms of conflict resolution, that it is so easy for us just to take things for granted until it's gone, missing, no longer accessible, and then only in our past. And I bring up that question. Is it worth the conflict to lose something or someone? Many don't realize that there may be something lost for the participation in conflict, argument, or standing up for something that you, me, and we believe is right. Well, whether we are right or wrong will matter. We must also remember that there is a cause following the effect to everything in life. Because cause and effect works that way. In life, leadership, and business. There is always a price to be paid. Always. Conflicts are life issues. They may have not yet happened to you, me or we, but will happen to us periodically. There is no if in terms of having conflict in our lives, in life, leadership, and business, and then having to resolve that conflict. It is more so when. Here is one of my most favorite fables and examples in all of personal and professional development that deals with conflict resolution, deals with family, and also deals with relationships. And it's called, and you can Google this, is The Fable of the Porcupines. It was the coldest winter ever. Many animals died because of the cold. The porcupines, realizing the situation, decided to group together to keep warm. This way they covered and protected themselves, but the quills of each one wounded their closest companions. After a while, they decided to distance themselves one from another, and they began to die alone and frozen. So they had to make a choice. Either accept the quills, the conflict, of their companions, or disappear from the earth, meaning die. Wisely, they decided to go back to being together. They learn to live with the little wounds, conflict, caused by the close relationship with their companions in order to receive the warmth that came from the others. For this was the only way it is that they were able to survive. Here's the moral of that story. The best relationship is not the one that brings together perfect people, but when each individual learns to live with the imperfections of others and can admire the other person's good qualities. Here's a Coach V quote from that. There's money in the transaction, but the wealth is in the relationships. Focus on what matters. Focus on mutual benefit and focus on bringing the value to all of your relationships. You, me, and we, because I'm always talking to myself on this show as well. Conflict resolution is no easy task, as that is our topic for conversation, discussion, and bringing you some Coach V insights on what it is that I've experienced for almost 44 years. I'll be 44 here coming up pretty soon. 44 years in this life, traveling and speaking to over 27 industries, and visiting with people from all walks of life, even the poor in my nonprofit and the little kids that are 4 years old. This is just some real talk on conflict resolution, that there is no easy task. It's not. But it is a must in life, leadership, business, sports, competition, and relationships that we resolve any issues that will detract from what are the goals. Conflicts, disagreements, differing opinions, arguments, and the drama and lack of focus on what's important is going to occur. That's part of our human nature. In saying that, the successful can choose to move forward and the unsuccessful settle on arguing to their detriment. Ultimately, the goal of conflict resolution, in my mind, is to come up with a satisfactory solution or to part ways, citing irreconcilable differences as quick as possible. The more you, me, and me, we linger in conflict, the more money and joy we lose out on. That's what we're talking about this evening on the Coach V Show. Is conflict resolution. The idea and the concept of the methods and processes involved in facilitating the peaceful ending of a conflict. Keep it locked. We'll be back after this brief music break. You're listening to the Coach V Show. Thank you so much for tuning in. Where iron sharpens iron, together we rise on Island Block Radio, the pulse of the Pacific, where paradise lives.
Sharing
now tuned in to the Coach V Show.
Welcome back to the Coach V Show on Island Block Radio. Tonight on the Coach V Show, we are talking about conflict resolution. The idea and the concept of methods and processes involved in facilitating the peaceful ending of conflict. And here are the Coach V 12 approaches to conflict resolution. Number 1 is focus on what's common. Write these down. You can turn them into your own words. It's not that you do exactly what it is that I say you do, but that you come up with what it is that you need to do so that you can become the best that you can be, live your best life, and also understand how to resolve the issues and the conflict in your lives for you, me, and we. Number 1, focus on what's common. Number 2, agreement. Number 3 is Facetime. Number 4 is privacy meeting. Number 5 is plug in. Let the energy out. Number 6 is the Snowball Effect. Number 7 is right time is later. Number 8 is a spoonful of sugar. Number 9 is going to be no winner, no loser. Move on. And number 10 in the Coach V 10 life approaches to conflict management is third party help. What did you think of the parable and the fable, the proverb of the porcupines? Hit me up on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and on LinkedIn. What an awesome story. That in the coldest winter ever, only the porcupines that withstood the conflict of being poked by its most closest neighbors, but with only those that withstood that and understand the advantage of being close to one another and having each other's warmth to look over the issues, the disagreements, and the conflict to be able to absolutely have every opportunity to survive. And in the Coach V life approaches to conflict resolution, here's number 1. Number 1 is focus on what's common. Focus is the center of interest or activity. Common is occurring, found, or done often, and what's prevalent. Focus on what's important. That is the number 1 life approach to conflict resolution from your boy, Coach V. If you, me, and we are arguing over how to accomplish a goal or task, find a way that works for both parties. Possibly a third way of accomplishing the goal versus your way or their way. I will restate what was stated earlier. What matters is the goal. If playing power tug of war for the process or how to do it is in the interest of my coworker or friend, I don't even take part. I don't. Win your war. I'll do it your way. If you, me, and we still hit the goals and make that cheddar, I'm good. Vanity to me is being petty and needing things to be done your way and seeing no value in how the other party sees it. I'm not petty, nor do I care about the details of the processes in general, but I do care about the results. People that care about doing it their way will create their own karma. And I enjoy peace, enjoy too much to mess with my karma in conflict. But again, focus or create what's common. That's number 1. Number 2, write these down, is agreement. Agreement is harmony or accordance in opinion or feeling, a position or result of agreeing. The high road in life, leadership in business, has less speed bumps, roadblocks, and detours that are more time consuming and frustrating. The original route that you, me, and we thought was best, but makes those around unwilling or question the route, is a route to be the second option. Do what everyone agrees on, as to encourage investment and synergy. There are differences of opinion all the time. Learning together is part of the process and the success, and especially big success. We need the support of every one of us to do anything. Life, leadership, and business is not to be done alone or to succeed in alone. Agree is needed to progress and keep relationships on a respectful level. That is number 2, agreement. Number 3 is FaceTime. FaceTime in the Coach V terminology and language is face-to-face dialogue and conversation. In today's digital conversations, communications, and dialogue, seeing each other on screen is not FaceTime enough. I get that if we are oceans apart, we must use what is available to us. When able, face-to-face dialogue reminds us that we are all human, and that heightens our spiritual connection and acceptance of one another. In my experience, unless people are just a-holes, right, because there are a lot of a-holes out there, I can help change and put aside differences when in person. That may not be your experience, but I've been blessed to be around some good people. I know that is not always the norm, but grateful that has been my norm, especially because of how text, email, messenger script can be interpreted other than intended. Let me say that again. I do feel a lot of the conflict that arises is because of how text, email, messenger script can be interpreted other than how it was intended because of miscommunication. It increases when we can't interpret body language, facial expression, and feelings. What happens is there's more and an increase in miscommunication. Point. FaceTime is able. Increases communication and betters conflict resolution when you do it face to face, in person, and with one another. Number 4, privacy meeting. Privacy is the condition or state of being free from being observed or disturbed by other people. Meeting is coming together of 2 or more people by arrangement. So we're talking about a privacy meeting. You, me, and we act and react differently in private and in public. That's just some real talk. And is how we are in our human condition and our human behavior. Judgment is a huge concern to us as social beings when in a group or workplace environment. I really believe that Polynesian problems blow up because of the same group, family, and tribe dynamic that is our strength is also our downfall in heated conflict. Family problems are drama to the 10th degree in any culture or ethnicity. And if you're saying that's not your family, keep lying to yourself, but stay tuned for the truth. LOL, joking but not joking. A privacy meeting allows an environment where the current drama does not attract additional drama. Well, you know that misery loves company and drama loves a tribe of company. Public discussion around co-workers, family, and friends is an invitation for an escalation of anger, loud screaming, responding for the mob versus conflict resolution. A privacy meeting, keeping it intimate, less anger, room temperature conversation, meaning not screaming, and responding according to the only other person in the room versus playing in an away game with opposing fans helps tremendously in conflict resolution. Want to see a young marriage with a lot of unresolved conflict? See newlyweds that living with one or the other's parents with no privacy. That's exactly how workplace conflict resolution can fail when everybody up in your business. Meet and discuss in front of everyone? No. Privacy meeting? Yes, please. That's what we're talking about this evening on Island Block Radio on the Coach V Show, your radio show for personal and professional development. We're talking about conflict resolution. Not easy. Misunderstandings, miscommunication, especially via email, where we really can't tell the tone or the emotion or how it's being said. So what now happens is you, me, and we don't see it as it really is, but we see it as we are under the current state we're in the mentality that we are in the spirit that we're in if we had coffee or no coffee state that we're in. So there can be a lot of communication. So that's number 1 through 4. And again, write these down. Focus on what's common. Number 2 is agreement. And then number 3 is FaceTime. And number 4 is privacy meeting, which is to me needed, just not in terms of our conflict resolution to keep things private, but some of these good things that are going on in your life, in my life, in our lives, that we keep it private. Hey, believe me, I don't co-sign off on, keep it quiet and do your work and let your work, speak for you, me, and we. Man, that's because you work for a company. You clock into a 9 to 5. When you're an entrepreneur and working for yourself and you have your own business, you are always a living promotion and talking about, discussing your dreams, hopes, and aspirations in hopes to connect with people that dream and live and believe like you, me, and we. Conflict. A serious disagreement or argument. Incompatibility between 2 or more opinions, principles, or interests. Resolution is agreeing to do or not to do something, acting of solving a problem, dispute, or contentious matter. Conflict resolution is the idea and the concept of methods and processes involved in facilitating the peaceful ending of conflict. Keep it locked. We'll be back after this brief break. You're listening to the Coach V Show. Thank you so much for tuning in. Where iron sharpens iron, together we rise on Island Block Radio, the pulse of the Pacific, where paradise lives.
Show you mama, please smile for me. Pretty mama, you're the one for me. Pretty mama, you're the one for me. Yeah, you're the one for me. Yeah, you're the one for me. Yeah, you're the one for me. Yeah.
You are tuned in to the Coach V Show, bringing you the expert insights and interviews to help you, me, and we become the best we can be. Now here's your host, Coach Viliami Tuivai, Coach V.
Welcome back to the Coach V Show on Island Block Radio. Tonight we're talking about conflict resolution. And conflict resolution is the idea and concept of methods and processes involved in facilitating the peaceful ending of conflict. I'm not saying that you're going to win that conflict or you're going to lose that conflict, but how to come up with a peaceful resolution of that conflict. In the last segment, we talked about 4 of the Coach V life approaches to conflict resolution. Number 1 was focus on what's common. Number 2 is agreement. Number 3 is Facetime. And number 4 was a privacy meeting. Here is number 5 in conflict resolution. Plug in, let the energy out. Let me say that one more time. Plug in, let the energy out. Conflict is riddled with negative emotions, anger, frustration, etc., etc., etc. Each person must be allowed to express what they feel. It can get emotional and probably will get emotional, depending on who you, me, and we are allowing to express what they feel. Part of the resolution is the time and empathy shown while the other party is trying to express their feelings. Now listen to understand and empathize. Do not just listen to respond. Now this is counter to what I do as a success coach, which is more, this is how it is. This is success coaching. This is how it is. This is the plan for the future. But does this work too? Because this is more therapy. Focusing on feelings, on the past, and what caused it, and how to avoid it from reoccurring. Though success does reflect what we feel, it only really cares about that we meet its demands. That's why I coach that way. I'm not a therapist. But this is not success achievement that we're talking about here. What we're talking about is conflict resolution. Talking through it allows the energy to flow out of what was caused, the root of the issue, and move forward now that the feeling has been expressed. Listen, learn, then live in such a way not to have the same conflict arise. The conflict resolution here is the courtesy and respect to listen. That's big time. And it goes a long way in terms of bridging when you listen and not just talk and talk about what it is that you want, how it should be, but that you just listen. Give the time needed to hear the other person out. Then expressing your feelings about the conflict. Come up with the resolution, then move forward. That is number 5. Plug in and let the energy out. And now number 6, snowball effect. Here's the Coach V definition of what a snowball effect is. So this is the process of conflict resolution that starts with just one initial state of significance that matters to the other person. And then allow it to grow in strength, stature, and gravity towards conflict resolution. Except one thing that starts a more respectful, calm, and open dialogue and build from there, thus the snowball effect. Can't find one? I mean, sometimes when you're dealing with a-holes and punks and bullies, right, you can't even start with one. Here's one for you, right? You can't even find one with some people. Just some hashtag real talk. But here's one for you. There's no drama more important than your joy, peace, happiness, fulfillment, and love. You see, drama and conflict take up more life bandwidth than all of the 5 aforementioned, which is joy, peace, happiness, fulfillment, and love, together. It takes up all the space. It sucks out all the joy, the peace, and the happiness, fulfillment. Love, hey, there's a thin line between love and hate. And conflict crosses over really quickly to the border. You want to run to the border, man, get angry, be frustrated, and have that be over a period of time where it becomes conflict. So let me say that one more time. Drama and conflict take up more life bandwidth than all 5 of the aforementioned joy, peace, happiness, fulfillment, and love. Resolve whatever it is. That is the one thing that can start your snowball effect. If you can't even see the other person's point of view, that's it. That there's no drama more important than your joy, peace, happiness, fulfillment, and love. Start with that in your snowball effect and go from there. Resolve whatever it is and live your best life, not the drama or the conflict that may be consuming you, me, and we. That is number 6. Now, number 7 is right time is later. I'm a get after it type of person. And there is no time than right now than to discuss something that I'm very heated on. And sometimes, and oftentimes, and even most times to my detriment. And to the detriment of the people it is that I love. I mean, I really do. I just get after it. And I just want to nip it in the bud right now. Which is defined as suppressed or destroy something at an early stage. Life, leadership, and business conflicts, they come up all the time. But sometimes it's better to deal with it at another time. That's what number 7 is. The right time is later. When at a professional development conference, it's best to take notes on your plan and agenda immediately as not to lose the momentum, energy, and inspiration from the newly acquired content, knowledge, and motivation when you're at a professional development conference. But negative energy, anger, and frustration at its heights will only increase conflict and offensive remark, especially when the other person will see no wrong in what it is that they actually started or won't even apologize. But time will always allow cooler heads to prevail. And for everyone involved, just to be more rational. When heated conflict occurs, the right time for conflict resolution is later. Because so many of us, including myself, will regret and eat our words. And the R word, regret, comes up. Especially when we're swinging, getting arrested, all of that. Man, just cool off. And when you're a professional, you don't really understand any of that until it is that you have something really to lose. When you have nothing to lose, those are the people out there that are out there, well, yeah, I'm just going back to jail. They're going to swing and try to resolve stuff later. But they're going to always try to just deal with everything with anger. The secondary emotion to everything that people that are not mature and have nothing to lose is anger, conflict, and it goes right into violence. That's how it works. And not because Coach V says so. That's just what life tells us all. So again, when heated conflicts occurs, the right time for conflict resolution is later. Number 8, spoonful of sugar. A spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down. Remember that rhyme? Or as defined as an otherwise unpleasant situation can be pleasant when pleasant aspect is deliberately introduced. In my experience, the diffuser of conflict in life, leadership, and business is I apologize. If I'm the cause of the conflict, I apologize. Now, most mofos don't know and just don't care enough about us to apologize. But if I'm the cause, I apologize. That's the spoonful of sugar. Number 2 is to empathize. I see your point. I understand. I share your feelings. And I do want to make sure that we come up with a resolution to this conflict. Number 3, the third spoonful of sugar is humor and kindness. They may not deserve it, but I know through experience, humor and kindness makes light of a situation in a way that can more easily bridge moving forward in life, leadership, and business. Now, in saying all 3 of those spoonful of sugars, in terms of this aspect of conflict resolution, in all of those 3, I know that I firmly believe that a bully is a bully. And if you, me, or we are adamant about something, keep it real and don't dance around it, or offer a spoon of sugar versus serving up the crap that they are serving. We must fully understand and comprehend what the situation is and be willing to live with the consequences of doing so. Because both the spoon of sugar or dishing back the crap will have a cost. And there will be a price to be paid. But in conflict resolution, refer to the aforementioned 3. Apologize, empathize, humor, and kindness. Tonight we're talking about conflict resolution, where conflict is a serious disagreement or argument, incompatibility between 2 or more opinions, principles, or interests. Resolution is the agreeing to do or not to do something, and the action of solving a problem or dispute and or a contentious matter. In conflict resolution is the idea and the concept of the methods and process involved in facilitating the peaceful ending of a conflict. Those are 8 of the Coach V life approaches to conflict resolution. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please keep it locked on right here on Island Block Radio to the Coach V Show, your radio show for personal and professional development.
Wait a minute, stop what we're doing, because I got to tell you now what's on my mind. We've been at this for some time, and I just wanna know if your heart is feeling just as strong as mine. Cause even though we got some years in this, it's always brand new to me. You see the butterflies, my palms get sweaty, my thoughts and my heart stay heavy. You got this kind of effect on me. So maybe we can sit down and just wind down and speak of all the many reasons why we stick around. But really all I want from you is just to love me a little more tonight. Say that your heart belongs to me, cause my heart is yearning for you. Baby, I'm forever loving you. Love me a little more tonight. Say that your heart belongs to me, cause my heart is yearning for you. Baby, I'm forever loving you. I'ma hold you down tomorrow more than I held you down today. When I say it's you, I mean it, he means it. I'm not gonna slip away when things get harder, because the way my heart is built for you. This love would never fail, you know I'm planning on forever. It's you, it's me, it's us, you're not alone, no never. I could go on and on of what this is and promises. Well baby, we got time, so let's just sit down and just wind down and speak of all the many reasons why we stick around. But really all I want from you is just to love me a little more tonight. Say that your heart belongs to me, 'cause my heart is yearning for you. Baby, I'm forever loving you. Love me a little more tonight. Say that your heart belongs to me, 'cause my heart is yearning for you. Baby, I'm forever loving. Let's just sit down, and as we wind down, let's speak of all the many reasons why we stick around. But really all I want from you is just to love me.
Coach Viliami Tuivai. Coach V Show.
Welcome back to the Coach V Show on Island Block Radio. Tonight we are talking about conflict resolution, the idea and concept of methods and processes involved in facilitating the peaceful ending of a conflict. In that we are talking about the Coach V 10 life approaches to conflict resolution. We are now on number 9. Number 9 says, no winner, no loser, move on. Keep it moving, man. Keep it moving, woman. Come on, brothers. Come on, sisters. Just keep it moving. Just move on. Keep it 100. Get back to work. Engage only as needed with the person it is that you're having that conflict with. And don't stir up the beehive, but keep moving forward. Leave all the pieces broken and shattered as they are and roll. Some people in some situations don't need a resolution. What's needed in the conflict resolution is that the parties involved just keep rolling, moving forward, and progressing. This is one of my best attributes. I don't need another person to acknowledge my value, to feel valuable. I don't need to be defined by others as a success to feel successful. If people want to be in, let's roll. If they don't like me, we can still roll. If they stay away, I still roll. And they will never know that I think that they are a loser, because it's not their business. I treat everyone with respect, regardless of what they are to me or what they can do for me. Let me say that again. This is where it is that we are no longer attached to what people think about us, is that I treat everyone with respect, regardless of what they are to me, because I hate so many people in my family. They'll never know it. There are people all around me that are with me all the time, but I focus on what matters. If it's on my nonprofit, it's not about me. It's about the kids. Now, when I have a feeling that those people are not about hashtag for the kids, they are out. But other than that, there's no conflict. I focus on what's important. And it's not their business. It's not what it is that they think of me or what they can do for you, me, and we. But you won't ever catch me around them voluntarily, or seeing them in a post breaking bread at an amazing restaurant with me. In fact, you'll never see me in their pictures around me or with my family or sitting at my table at an event, because I just don't roll like that. And I encourage you to do the same. Just move on. Keep it moving. And number 10, here is one that I really would like everyone who is listening to really pay attention. In terms of conflict resolution, you and the person that is involved can just handle your business. Whether it is like number 9, there is no winner, there is no loser, move on. And then you two can just work this stuff out and hash it out. And most problems, differences, and conflicts can be handled with only 2 parties. But if you are being abused or in danger, report it to your direct leadership or person in charge, the police, and your loved ones. Don't go it alone on this deal. Don't do it. If you're feeling personal conflict one-on-one with yourself, questioning the value of being alive, call someone. Google the 1-800 number that you need to talk to about people that will remind you about the value of life. Trying to resolve your own leaves the law to take what you say versus what other people that may be trying to impose harm or ill will on you and leave it up to interpretation. Do what's best for your safety and your welfare now. Right now. I mean, if you're listening to this show, stop listening to the show, pick up the phone, and make sure you call somebody. And that's what number 10 is, third-party help. And if you're having conflict with yourself, get that second person on the phone. Tell somebody who you think remotely even knows your name, because sometimes you're going to feel like you are all by yourself in this thing called life. Let me tell you, there are people out there that see value in you and care for you. And if you've got a conflict with somebody who's abusing you, there are plenty of people out there that will help you. Call the law enforcement. Get a report. Don't leave it up to a you versus what they said, he said, or she said. And get help now. Because that's what we're talking about. We're talking about conflict resolution. I mean, what is the concept, the methods, the processes, the actions, what it is that you do involved in facilitating a peaceful ending to conflict? And make sure that you have every opportunity to wake up and enjoy tomorrow just like anybody else that's not going through conflict. And that is the 10. Coach V, life approaches to conflict resolution. Let's start at the top. Focus on what's common. That is number 1. Focus is the center of interest in what's common between both of you. Focus on what's important and try to find a way that both of you agree on to move forward. Number 2 is agreement. Agreement is harmony. And that there are differences of opinion all the time. But learning is part of success. And that you get other people to agree with what it is that should be done moving forward. Number 3 is FaceTime. And that you and me meet with the person in person and talk out and feel their spirit. Understand the communication that may be miscommunicated via text, email, or even via the phone. Privacy meeting. Don't be like these Polynesian families that start arguing with the other family is on somebody's side and start the argument, and then the drama just escalates. Meet privately. Have a privacy meeting. Number 5 is plug in and let the energy out. Create a meeting and a time to meet where each person can really just voice out and plug into that negative energy and let it out. Let it out of your spirit. Let it into the universe and let somebody else carry that stuff around. And really take the time and the patience to listen to one another. Number 6 is the snowball effect. Is to find one aspect that you can start with in terms of resolving the conflict and letting it snowball from there, creating more momentum and gravity and strength to move towards a peaceful resolution. Number 7 is the right time is later, which is just allowing time so that you and the other party and the people involved can just cool off. Because escalation only happens if you don't cool off and just unplug now and get away from the situation for a second and the time that's needed and required so that cooler heads can really prevail. Number 8 is a spoonful of sugar, which is again, is in unpleasant situations where, like taking medicine, can be pleasant when a pleasant aspect is deliberately introduced. Humor, kindness, empathizing, and apologizing. Number 9 is no winner, no loser. Leave that stuff broken and shattered right where it is in your past, and you, me, and we move forward. Engage only as needed, but keep moving forward. And number 10 is get help. Whether it's third-party help or you have some conflict resolution you need for yourself, get a second party involved, because life is truly a gift. Ironically, it's the hardest gift it is that we are ever going to have to deal with, but it's also the most amazing gift in the known and unknown universe. I mean, not every conflict will end in a resolved and moving forward together. Steve Jobs, the co-creator and co-founder of Apple, was let go, or as some has noted, he just left. And he is quoted as saying that we had just released our finest creation, the Macintosh, a year earlier. I had just turned 30 and then I got fired, Jobs said. How can you get fired from the company you started? Talk about conflict resolution. Well, as Apple grew, we hired someone who I thought was very talented to run the company with me. And for the first year or so, things went well. But then our visions of the future began to diverge. And eventually we had a falling out. When we did, our board of directors sided with him. So at 30, I was out. That was 1985. And then in 1997, he returned. In different capacities, he returned. Then took Apple to unprecedented heights on business and in business that the world had never experienced. I mean, conflict is a choice. And when you, me, and we no longer want to deal with the conflict, which is leading to no solution, live with it or move on. Don't try and piece all of the brokenness and shattered pieces together. Leave it broken right where it is and just roll. In conflict resolution, I did want to touch on something that my boy, Vuki Tangitao, commented on LinkedIn on a post it is that I put on. And my boy Vuki is an account executive in marketing development for FedEx. In terms of conflict resolution, he used an acronym for something else that I thought was appropriate here, which is THINK. Truth is the acronym for THINK. Truth, helpful, inspiring, necessary, and kind. In terms of our communication in conflict resolution, I mean, speak the truth, but be empathetic. Don't call people out and call names. Is it helpful? Is it inspiring? Is it necessary? And is it kind? That's conflict resolution. From your boy, Coach V. My 10 approaches to conflict resolution. It is of great importance for each of us to better ourselves, not only just to gain advantage to obtaining success, but for the sake of being our best. In doing so, we realize the best of our abilities and that everything and anything that we believe and work for can be achieved. This is how this success coach, keynote speaker, radio show host, and author lives. All about faith and family, grateful for God's amazing grace. Thank you so much for tuning in and listening in to the Coach V 10 Life Approaches to Conflict Resolution. Tune in every Motivation Monday at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time to the Coach V Show, your radio show for personal and professional development, where iron sharpens iron. Together we rise on Island Block Radio, the pulse of the Pacific, where paradise lives.